Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Rewind that. It's your girl, Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. It is late, unfortunately. I'm sorry, guys. The train, that late train that we normally be on. It's a little later tonight because I got backed up on Nita's channel, bugging out over there for a little while, so I do apologize. But tonight we're talking about something a little different, our Friday night special, and it is the Jeffrey Dahmer story, all right, on Netflix. They got all of the episodes out. You know how they do. Hey, Samara. You know how they do, guys. They have all the episodes out at once. I heard they are changing that. But tonight we are only going to talk about episodes 1 and 2, and then hopefully maybe by next Friday we're going to talk about 3 and 4. Like, we're just going to do it like that because just to get over it. Y'all probably done binge watched. By the time that happens, everybody probably watched it. So if that happens by next week Friday, if I do wind up seeing all of the episodes, then I'm just going to mess around and talk about the rest of the season, okay? Hey, Naya and Savannah and Tamisa. Hi. All right, guys, let's get into it, y'all, because the first two episodes, first of all, the first episode, forget about the first two. The first episode, guys, it had me like I was watching a freaking scary movie, okay? That scene where him and when Tracy started fighting back, I was like, get him, do some more, do this, do that. Because he kept getting up and I'm like, yo, you gotta make sure he stayed down because Tracy could not get out the door for nothing. But I'm going ahead, guys, because I was excited about that part. But let me know in the chat, have y'all watched the Jeffrey Dahmer story so far on Netflix, or am I just talking to people that just want to hang out with Miss K? And that's totally fine with me. I love y'all. So, but let me know, are y'all watching it? All right, so let's get into this episode, guys. Okay, so we see, first of all, when Jeffrey, when we first get up in there, hey, William. I am Miss K right now. Lena, she had to go away. She'll be back though. Next, when it's time to talk about House of the Dragon, she shall be back. Okay, all right. Yes, Samara, please do watch it, girl. All right. So first of all, before I kick it off, I can't even talk. Before I kick it off, I forgot to mention that this is a Ryan Murphy creation. He's behind it. And if you watch American Horror Story, I'm a fan of American Horror Story. And, this is, he's, you can tell, like when I watch this, I can tell that he's behind this. So I like American Horror Story, like I said. All right. So anyway, when the episode starts off, we see, a lady that she lives at, I believe she lives, does she live downstairs from her or down the hall? Because it seems like she lives down the hall. But for some reason, when stuff goes on, she can hear things going on through the vent. So it definitely seems like he might live upstairs from her, right? And so there's some noise going on, and he's like, he has a machine. It's either he has like this electric saw where he's chopping bodies up or something, okay? But she can hear it, all right? This lady, she hears everything that's going on in this man's apartment, and there's a smell also, as you can see going across the screen. I'm sorry, it says, what's that smell? Like, I'm talking about almost every episode that I've watched so far, that was a question. What's that smell? So it's like, this guy is annoying. Oh, Naya said that she lived next door. Okay, because the crazy thing about it is, it's like, it must be some long apartments or whatever, because anytime one of the dudes was coming out of the apartments, it seemed like it took them a minute before they got to her door. So that's why I was wondering what was going on. Okay, so anyway, she hears what's going on, and you could tell by the look of her face that she knows something is not right. Whatever's going on, something's not right with him. Okay, and so it shows him, and he's in his apartment, and he's just casually smoking a cigarette, like there's no care in the world. He just finished chopping somebody's body up. It's a bloody knife. It's a bloody drill, and he's just smoking a cigarette, like it's just Like he just had some great sex. Like it's just nothing, you know. And clearly we're gonna find out that these things really do arouse him as we look into the background of this kid. We find out that he does get aroused by all of that stuff. All right. So now we're in the club scene. So after he'd already disposed of somebody, you know, killed somebody, chopped them up, you know, drilled them up, all that stuff. After he's already done this, he goes back out and he hits the club scene again. And he's walking up to these guys and he's like, you know, yeah, I'm gonna buy you some drinks and stuff like that with his little corny self. And they just kind of laughing at him like, oh, you're gonna buy, I forgot the drink that that he said he was gonna buy them, but they kind of laughed at it like, that's some weak crap, like, please, you know. And then he was like, listen, we know that we've seen you here plenty of times, like, and you tried to buy us drinks before, like it says, there ain't a lot of white queens walking up in here with their blonde hair. So that just goes to show us that this dude is in a black gay bar. All right. And he also lives in like a black neighborhood also. Hey, Karen Jones, thank you, babe, for showing some love. Appreciate you. Yes, please go watch. It's very good so far. Very good so far. All right. Yes, to me. So they called him right on out. Okay. And I was just like, okay. So, and I like the fact they weren't having none of it. And he was on some like, you know, I'll pay you guys and stuff like that. And I'm like, and the dude over here with the with the orange on, to the right of Dahmer, well, that's to the left of him, but to the right of the screen, he was on some like I ain't going back to your place for no $50, you know. And he was smart about it, in my opinion, you know. And then we have Tracy come out, and he's like, you know, yeah, I'll go to your place for $50, you know. The landlord done jacked up the rent anyway, so might as well. And it was like, B, you stupid. What are you crazy? And he was like, you know, screw it, you know. So he left, and then they were like, well, maybe we'll stop by, you know, too. And Dahmer gave them the wrong address, obviously, right? Because why would he send more people over? You know, he gave them the wrong address and said he lived in a bungalow, and he doesn't. He lives in an apartment. So that was already a lie from the gate. And then the one with the hat on, when they were leaving, he just had this face that he kind of, it looked like he felt something is not right about this guy. This doesn't look right. So we get back to the apartment, and he's standing at the door now because he's just kind of looking like, I don't know if I want to come in up in here, you know. Hey, Art Love, good morning. I don't know if I want to come up in here. But yeah, he still goes in there. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Please, why? Listen, from the jump, he sees this is not the place to be. Like, this is really not the place to be. And then he notices the smell. Like, well, what is that smell? And every time we turn around, Dahmer is telling him, every time we turn around, he's telling everyone to ask about the smell. Oh, it was some bad meat. My family gave me some bad meat, bad meat, some pork chops. You know, it's his favorite thing to tell people, okay? So, he wants to know, well, can you at least open a window? He's like, no, I can't open a window, but, you know, I have air conditioning in the room and stuff like that. All right. And look, you see the drill. He still has the bloody drill on the counter. He did not remove it. It was just like, really? Come on. Like, he doesn't care, because you know why? I'm bringing this person here. They ain't making it out anyway. So why should I hide anything? You know? It's just a sick freaking person. So once he starts getting the locks together, I was like, oh gosh, here we go. And I was hooked from this, because I really wanted to see if Tracy was going to get out of it, because guys, I don't know. Like, I remember the story from when I was a kid, watching it on the news and everything, but I didn't know the ins and outs. I remember I think one of the guys, his sister, trying to jump across in the courtroom, like she tried to attack him in the courtroom. It was really sad. I remember all of that. That was very, very sad, but I didn't know the ins and outs of the situation in the case. And I did know that he had a lot of black men, but I didn't know he targeted black men. See, this story is really, because I was a kid, like I said. So this story right here is very interesting, and it's opening my eyes to see what was really going on too, because it was like, why was you just targeting black folks? I didn't really understand that. Okay. And look, guys, Tracy is in there. He looking around, and he sees a few things. And here is one thing that he saw that he should have been like, all right, let me get the heck up out of here. Okay, so it's the Satanic Bible. It was like, really, it's time to get up out of here now. Okay, Tamisa says that he should have smelt it before he walks in, if the neighbor could smell it. Right. Mm-hmm. And then another thing that he noticed, see, because he was noticing stuff before he even got into the apartment. He said, I thought you said you lived in a house. So that was strike one right there. Like, this, first of all, this is a stranger. So stranger danger, that should be all in your mind, and it's just no. So Tamisa says, yes, he was targeting gay black men. Yeah. Okay, so now he sees that book, and now Dahmer gives him a drink, and he sees, like, suds in it, and he's like, what is this, like, and Dahmer coolly says, oh, it's probably just some dish soap or something like that. It's just drink up. Like, what do you mean? Who wants to drink dish soap? If you have somebody to come in your house, like, the normal thing to do is, oh, I'm sorry, if that is dish soap, let me get you another thing to drink. But no, he's like, oh, it's okay, just drink it. Like, why? Because he's freaking drugging you. That's why. So that should have been one thing where he could have, like, where's your bathroom at? Or something. Hit him upside the head. I don't know. It was just time to go. Like, it was just time to go. But this is the moment where he was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go. So he tries, and that's when they start tussling. And he gets the knife on him and everything. And the lady downstairs next door, she can hear all of this stuff. And she hears I guess the voices and everything too, but nothing, she can't really hear what they're saying, but she know, like, what is going on? Like, could you imagine living next door to somebody like this, guys? Like, seriously, very scary. And just and knowing the aftermath of everything that was going on in his apartment, and you live right there, and all along you were smelling all this stuff, like, it's crazy. Okay, so like I said, here she is. She can hear everything, and it's right through the vent. And she's just got this look of concern on her face. So now he takes him back to the room after they finish tussling and stuff like that. He tells him, you better calm down, because I'm gonna pay you. I just want to watch a movie and relax and stuff. So he takes him into the room, and they're watching a movie. But then he was like, can we wait? So now Tracy is seeing that this is a very dangerous situation, and so now he's trying to do whatever he can, trying to butter him up and stuff like that. Like, oh, I got an idea. He starts sucking on his fingers and everything, trying to turn him on. And so he's on the floor doing all kinds of sexy moves and stuff like that. And then he tells him to get the camera. So while Jeff goes to get the camera, Tracy tries to make a move, but Dahmer was out there with the quickness. All right. And then Tracy had to hurry up and act like, he wasn't trying to just flee the scene. Okay. So now he's taking the pictures. So then he's like, all right, let's go back in the room. I'm done. I don't want to, I don't want to take any more pictures. I'm done. I want to go finish watching the movie. So they go watch the movie. And I think he said that this is The Exorcist #3. And he said he watches it every day, guys. I mean, I'm talking about this experience for Tracy is getting worse by the freaking minute. All right. This guy watches the movie every single day. He's crazy. He watches The Exorcist every day. So now he tells him, okay, I want to lay on your chest. I want to hear your heartbeat. So he lays him down. He's like, why do you want to hear my heartbeat? What are you doing? He says, because I'm going to eat it. I'm going to eat it. And I don't mean to laugh, because this is something that really happened. So I apologize. I'm not making light. But the way this guy is talking. Okay. So now is the time for Tracy to go into action. All right. So Tracy does something. I forgot what he did, but he hit him, and he makes a run for it. Okay. I think he hit his glasses off, but he did something. And I was like, yes, hurry up. So when he's getting to the door, guys, he can't unlock nothing. And I was just like, oh my gosh, please hurry up. Because like I said, I don't know if he gets away, but I remember even recently, my mom telling me that there was a guy that got away, and I was so hoping that this was the guy. So it turned out, yes, he was the one that got away. And he was busting this dude's head up. I'm like, bust him up, Bust him up. Don't stop. Make sure he's unconscious, okay? Because he kept getting up like freaking Jason or somebody. And I was like, Tracy, you guys to do better, because you need time to get out this man's house, because for some reason those locks are just too tight. Like, what the heck? So he's running down the hall with his, he ran down the hall. He ran down the what do you say? The street. I'm sorry. He ran down the street, and he was just screaming like, hey, help me, help me, help me. So he runs into these cops, and the cops I was afraid, because come on, guys, of course, right? He's a black guy in an alleyway, a dark alley, and then they are white. So I was like, please don't do nothing to this guy. But like, this is something that happened in history, so I kind of knew that wasn't going to happen. So here we go with that. And he brings him back. All right. So here, he's smoking a cigarette. He knows somebody just got away. Doesn't seem like he's phased or scared or nervous, but he brings the cops back, because he said somebody tried to kill me. And then the cop was like, why are you wearing handcuffs? So we get to this scene here where he brings the cops back to this spot. Now, for me, guys, I say that I wouldn't have brought the cops back, because I would be too afraid to even want to go back there. But I think he did the right thing. If this is something that really happened in real life, regardless, he didn't have to bring the cops back there. But if he really did run into the cops, like in the alleyway like he did, then I guess that makes sense, right? But calling them, absolutely. He needed to be stopped. There were people dying and all of that stuff. Okay. So Tavier the Savior. Hi. Thank you for subbing. He said here, I'm sorry, I think it's a he. I hope I got you right. It's sick people glorify this trash. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Who's sick? Like, are you calling somebody like Ryan Murphy sick for bringing about this story? Like, all right. So yeah, he's back here and he's listening. Like, the cops are asking questions and stuff like that. And so now they're starting to say, can we come inside? Because we need the key, first of all, to unlock him. Like, we need to get these cuffs off of him. You mind if we come inside? So they go inside, and they're like, they go and they get, well, he said, where's the key? So they go into the room. He's like, I'll get it. Jeff is like, I'll get it, because he doesn't want them to go into the room. They was like, no, you just stay here. Because at this point, they're kind of looking at him like, yeah, this guy this is crazy. And they asked, what is the smell? What's that smell? So he goes up in there, and one cop goes into the drawer, and he gets the key, and he sees pictures. But look, it's like, okay, she's just regular. He sees the pictures of him taking, of men in their underwear. And then it starts getting real, like pictures of men that are like dead and all of this stuff. So it was like, oh no. They put him on the ground like, you are under arrest for the attempted murder of that guy out there. Like, they didn't know his name or nothing like that. They just like, that guy out there, you're under arrest for attempted murder. And then they got him. So the lady down the hall is like, what's going on? What did you guys find in there? And they were like, ma'am, can you just please go inside, ma'am? No, ma'am, this and that. And then she's like, no, because I've been telling you, I've been told y'all, I called y'all before, y'all didn't do anything. So we're seeing here that this is not the first time that she alerted the authorities. And they have been letting this man rack up bodies and killing these men, which is very, very sad. Okay. Naya says that I thought cops would know what dead bodies smell like, right? Yeah, that makes sense. So now, unfortunately, in the middle of the night, it looks like, because the father is asleep, they call Jeffrey's father and they bring him in, and they're like, listen, your son is under an investigation for attempted murder, but we also think that he has killed a whole bunch of people. And the father's like, oh my gosh. So it gets really real when they start telling him what they found in his apartment, guys. Okay. They tell him that you need to brace yourself, because we found a human head in his refrigerator. We found a heart. like a few hearts, okay? Um, and they said, I mean, there was bones, like it was just a lot. There was a canister of like acid with the bodies, the remains in there and stuff. It was just insane, okay? Insane. And then he said, and I think that he was eating them. Like, this is what they are telling this man's father. And that's really, really sad, okay? So now it's all over the news, okay? And now they're telling this woman that she has to evacuate. How you going to tell somebody they got to evacuate their home because your whole building is a crime scene? So is the state going to put up, or the city, y'all going to put her up in a hotel? Because how you going to tell somebody they got to leave their home? That's really crazy to me. I feel like the state definitely has to produce funds if you want a whole building to evacuate. And what if they don't got no family? Like she said, I don't have nowhere to go. Like, how you going to, like, so I thought about that and I'm like, yeah, y'all really should be putting this lady up. Okay. Because how you just going to say to get out? I mean, not like that, but you know what I'm saying. Okay. And then she's like, wait a minute, what did they find in there? And that ain't nobody, of course he didn't say anything. All right. She had to hear about it on the news. Hey, Jade M, it's okay. So we're about to go on to the next episode, guys, because Jeff, he's gotten, first of all, let me just say this part right here. Obviously, he gets arrested. And then when he sits down with the police, they're saying that, you know, he has a right to an attorney, but he also has the right to waive it, right? And he decides to waive that right because he's saying that he's going to be honest about everything. So that's when we get the backstory of, you know, what's going on with him when he was a kid. And so he's coming home from school as a kid, and it looks like his mom is dead, guys. Okay. I said, oh shoot, he came home and found his mother dead. That's crazy. But you have a baby that's just screaming, like really screaming, guys, to the point where I wanted to turn my TV down. Like, I ain't trying to hear that, because I was watching it late at night and I was like, I ain't trying to hear no baby crying like that. Like that baby was crying for real. Okay. Anyway, so she looks dead, but when the ambulance come and the father comes, we find out that she just OD'd. Okay. The father was like, man, she's faking and she does this all the time, this and that. So we really do find out that his mother has a drug problem. She's a pill popper. All right. So we also see Jeff, and he goes to school and all the kids are bringing apples to the teacher. This freaking little baby weirdo brings her a jar of tadpoles. And I was just like, you know, of course, here we go, right? So a kid, when she was like, oh, thank you, Jeffrey. So when he leaves, there was another classmate of his, and he was like, why would he give you that? That's just so weird. She was like, it's okay, just be nice to him, you know, he might be going through some things at home and stuff. And so the kid asked if he could have the jar of tadpoles, and she gave it to him. So in the hallway outside of school, Jeffrey sees the kid with the tadpoles, and he's like, that's not yours. And he gets upset and he screams. He's like, no. So he follows the kid home, and the kid goes into the house, and he must have went somewhere to find his mom, because he just goes into the kid's house and grabs the tadpoles and takes them out. And guys, he goes and kills them. Okay. He puts motor oil into the freaking jar and kills the tadpoles. And this is where we see it all begins. Okay. Like Jade M says, they did a good job showing how him/monster was created. Exactly. And I was going to say that. So thank you so much for bringing that up, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're showing us how this monster was created. And to see him do something like that, it's just pure evil, because, okay, so because the person that you gave it to, she didn't want it and she gave it to another kid. So you took all this time to follow the kid home and retrieve it back just so you could kill them. Like, that's some sick crap. Okay. So now we have, sorry, I had to clear my throat a little bit. we're seeing that his father has so much to do with the monster that he created. I mean, that was created, right? Like, I don't want to say that it's the dad's fault because obviously he's a sick child already, but the father encouraged this behavior. So now they had, I think they were like eating dinner or something, right? And the wife said, "What's that smell?" Like I said, that's why it's going across the screen, guys, because this was it was like a theme line. What's that smell? What's that smell? And when she said, "What's that smell?" I said, "Don't tell me that this little boy is killing animals, because that's one sign, right, of a serial killer. When they little, when they kill animals, that's a bad sign, y'all." So I thought that's what it was, but it wasn't that. Okay, it was a possum underneath their house, and it was smelling, and it must have gotten killed because it had like a little hole, like a bite, a piercing from maybe some canine teeth or something like that. The father said it was probably from a coyote. So listen, this kid Jeffrey, he's not afraid of it. He's intrigued by this dead body, this dead possum, and he wants to touch it. And the father says, "No, don't touch it." And then he says, "But you know what? It's okay to be curious like that." So now they start this thing where they're gonna start going hunting for roadkill. But first, let me pause before we go further. This scene right here is when I think so. I'm not sure, but if it's not, it's okay, because this is something important anyway. In one of these scenes, if it's not this one, the father tells him that where he works, they did some type of experiment on frogs where they took a part of their brain out or something like this. This was a very bad story to tell this young boy because he grew up doing that. Okay, and we will get back to it. But he told him, I may not have the story, verbatim or whatever, but y'all get the gist. Y'all saw it, right? So this was not a good story to tell him. But he did say that when they connected back a certain part or whatever, he said, I don't know if it was nerves, I forgot, but it was something that they took a piece of the brain out and then they put something back, and then the frog was able to operate in some other kind of way, like I think they put a tissue on him or something. I don't freaking know, guys. The point is, Jeffrey learned how to do something to somebody's brain to where people can't talk or whatever, because y'all saw what he did to that little boy. We're going to talk about it. I'm kind of going ahead. So now they have this little bonding thing where they're going to hunt for roadkill. Like, this is freaking disgusting. So they find a raccoon and they're like, "Oh, this is a fresh one." So they take the raccoon and they pretty much go and they start dissecting the raccoon, and they find the heart. And he's touching the heart, and they have gloves on and all that stuff. Now, the only thing about this scene is that we could see the what started him wanting to chop up bodies and take out hearts and all that stuff. We see that, right, in the whole dissecting. But where did the eating part come in? Because I don't know if y'all watched all of it, but I only watched the first 2 episodes, so don't spoil it for me. But I hope they get to that part. Like, what was the root of the whole eating business? Like, what made you turn cannibal? All right, so now he's older now, and he's living with his grandmother. He's staying with his grandmother, and he goes to a department store, and I guess he's looking for a white shirt, because the place that he's working at a deli, and he loves chopping up the meat. He loves carving the meat. He loves doing all that stuff. Everything working with meat, okay, and so he loves his job, right? So the boss comes in and tells him that you can't be wearing no t-shirt back here. Even if you're back here, you have to wear the white shirt. So he goes to the department store and gets a white shirt, but then he sees this mannequin, and now it looks like he's going to be after the suit, but no, he's not. So he hides in one of the dressing rooms until the department store closes. And when he comes out, he starts to take the clothes off of the mannequin. And this is where I'm saying I thought that it was the suit or whatever he was trying to steal. He was stealing the whole mannequin, guys. Okay? The whole thing. I was like, oh my gosh. And then he went home and he was caressing it. "Do you want me? Because I want you." All of this. And then he, I mean, look, I guess he was just aroused by this whole thing. He had it in his bed, and then the grandmother came and she was like, "Oh, I got your clothes here for you, or your sheets." And he said, "It's okay, Grandma. I want to put my own sheets. Just put them outside the door." She didn't listen. She goes into the room and she sees the mannequin. So she pulls the sheets back. The mannequin's in the bed, but they don't show the mannequin. They show a man, okay, because he done took it to the real situation this time. A man bleeding in the bed. He looks like he's dead, okay. So now we get to the scene where he meets up with this little boy. And the little boy is outside and waiting for somebody to come and buy him a drink because he's too young. He's underage. Unfortunately, the wrong person, like Jeffrey Dahmer, is going to buy his drink. And so he comes back out and he's like, "Hey, I got the drink, but you're going to have to come with me. Let's just party. We're just going to have some fun." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, just come party. We're going to have some fun. I'll pay you. So unfortunately, we find out that, the kid goes with him because he says that his family needs the money. All right. So he goes with him to his house. Somebody he doesn't know, a whole stranger. The crazy thing about this is that there are a whole bunch of witnesses, all of these young boys here, but they don't seem like they're even paying attention. Okay. So we see a missing persons poster or flyer, right? And this is not the first time that we're seeing this. When Jeffrey goes into the bar the first time, there's a poster out there too of somebody missing. So it's almost like the places that he goes, like he frequents these places and there's always a missing sign there of somebody. So that's kind of weird, right? But yeah, so we also find out that this kid is only 14 years old. When he said he was 14, I was really hoping that Jeff would leave him alone. Like, okay, hopefully he has some kind of standards. Like, this is sick what he's doing already. But I was really hoping that he would not do anything with this kid. Like, I really was hoping that. But clearly that does not matter. Age does not matter. He's gotten a lot of teens anyway, right? And also, the kid told him that he did something to his brother. He said, "You don't know who I am, huh? Like, you did something to my brother." And so he tries to deny and say that his brother lied about stuff and everything. And also, once again, he's giving him a drink to drug him. All right. So the kid, when he wakes up, Jeff does something to his brain, like he drills to his brain, like basically that conversation that I was telling you about. I'm pretty sure I kind of screwed it up a little bit, but he got that whole idea from his father. All right. And so the kid, he tries to, regardless, even if he can't talk, he still knew enough to try to get up out of there. He was just mumbling and mumbling. So the woman and the neighbor, she calls the cops and they're just like, "What's going on?" And unfortunately, Jeff comes home right in time to see this. And he's like, "Oh, this is my boyfriend. He was drunk and stuff like that. And, he hit me." Like, his story didn't even make any sense. Like, "Oh, he hit me. And then he asked me to go get him some more beer or some more wine or whatever. And then I came back and whatever, So it was just a really stupid story. The cops seem to buy it, but they're like, "Oh, can we just check the house?" Because he says he lives with me. I can prove it. How the heck can you prove that he lives with you? So, "Oh, I have pictures." Polaroid pictures, really, that you could have just now took? Okay, whatever. So they asked to go inside and check things out. And the lady here, she's like, "This is a child. Like, can't you get some ID, like anything to prove? Like, you just gonna let this guy take him back in?" And so then the cops is like, "All right, let's go. We're going to go inside and check it out." So when they go inside, they're so homophobic that they don't even want to go check nowhere else. Like, and they're actually afraid to touch stuff. So there's a body in his room of a black guy in his room that they could have found, and they could have put a stop to him killing this little boy and some other people as well. But they were so homophobic that they just was like, "No, we're good. We don't need to see anything. We've seen everything here. Everything's fine. You said he lives with you. Okay, fine." And so, and I also think that this scene right here, when it goes back to when Tracy brought the cops back. and Tracy was like, I mean, Jeff was like, yeah, we're just doing gay stuff. Like it's the gay stuff, the gay stuff. Like he kept throwing it out there. And I was like, why the heck does he keep throwing it out there like that? And I think it's because with this scene right here with these cops, they showed that they were homophobic. And I feel like he was trying to throw that out there so that it can, be like a repellent for them. Like the cops are not going to want to come in here. But it didn't work for the last guys with Tracy, okay? But these guys, it worked. And they was so disgusted that they wanted to take showers afterwards. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you come across so many different things in this line of work. You're gonna let somebody's the fact that somebody is gay stop you from checking out something, and the fact that this is a little boy in there. Like, come on now, this is not cool. The fact that they just let this little boy back into this man's house was very disgusting and irresponsible. So we get a call because the guys leave, right? So we get a call. This is how the episode ends. The lady, okay, her name is Glinda. She's calling and she's like, because she got the I guess the squad card number or something like that, and she's speaking to one of the officers, and she's like, yeah, about that situation, like, what happened? Like, did you find out if he was really 14 and 19? Because I feel like he was a kid. Like, that's my main concern. But she was really pressing, guys, because he was trying to like say, yeah, everything's okay, ma'am. It's fine. We can't do nothing about how people live their lives and all that stuff, their sexual preferences and stuff like that. He said that was his boyfriend, this and that. And she's like, no, but I just think that was a kid. I'm really concerned about that. And that was that. She, like I said, she kept pressing. She was very persistent about it. And he was like, yeah, ma'am, I mean, I'm positive. Like, that's just that. But like this right here, I hope that this is something that we're going to see. I really hope that this got this officer in trouble, because more people died because they didn't do something at that moment in time. All right. But that is how that episode ended. And I did start watching episode 3, like got through half of it. And we saw more of just stuff that made him who he is. And the fact that his mom, when she was pregnant with him, she was taking like 26 pills a day. She already has mental illness. His mother, she wants the father to believe her when she says she's seen UFOs and all of that. And it's just a hot mess, his family and, his whole background and stuff like that. But guys, that was it. I'm interested. I don't know if I'm going to binge watch the rest of it this weekend. I'm not sure, but hopefully by next Friday, we can just talk about the rest of the series, because hopefully, as the days go by, I'll be done with it. I'll try my best. But thank you guys for all being here. I know it's late. It's 1:40 and I'm about to get out of here. And I appreciate you guys. I will see y'all again in the building on Sunday at 8:05 when we talk about Raising Canaan. And I'm excited for that episode too, guys. All right, y'all. Y'all take care and be blessed and have yourselves a good night. Tamisa, Pope, Naya, Tadier, you must have left. And Jade M. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.